Hey everyone, welcome back to Summary Central, where we break down the world's best books so you can learn faster, think sharper, and actually apply what matters. Today's book isn't about climbing a mountain in Nepal or conquering nature. It's about conquering the one that lives inside your mind. The book is The Mountain Is You by Brianna Wiest, and it's about transforming self-sabotage into self-mastery. We're going to talk about why we keep tripping over the same patterns, why we talk ourselves out of good things, and why every time we get close to change, something inside of us panics and pulls the emergency brake. Wiest's core idea is simple but brutal. Your biggest obstacle isn't out there, it's you. But that's also the good news, because if the mountain is you, then so is the power to move it. By the end of this summary, you'll see that the habits you hate, the doubts that slow you down, and the fears that whisper not yet are actually survival systems that can be rewired. We're going to learn how to turn pain into purpose, confusion into clarity, and resistance into momentum. So buckle up. We're not just reading a book today. We're climbing the inner Himalayas. And by the time we're done, you'll see the view from the top looks a lot like freedom. The text is already entirely in English. Here it is unchanged. Section 1, what self-sabotage really is. Let's start with the villain of the story, self-sabotage. Most people think it means laziness, fear, or lack of discipline. But Wiest flips that script completely. She says self-sabotage isn't about being weak. It's about being confused about what safety means. Every destructive behavior you repeat, staying in the wrong job, scrolling instead of starting, running from good relationships, started as a survival strategy. Your brain is wired to keep you alive, not fulfilled. So when it senses change, it doesn't say, yay, progress. It says, unknown territory detected, retreat. When you procrastinate, when you self-doubt, when you overthink, that's your nervous system trying to protect you from uncertainty. The irony, it's protecting you from the very thing that could heal you. Let's use an example. Imagine a person who constantly sabotages new opportunities because they don't feel ready. Deep down, that's not hesitation, it's trauma. At some point, trying and failing felt catastrophic. So now, instead of risking rejection again, their brain steps in and says, let's fail early and safely before anyone can hurt us. That's self-sabotage, a misguided bodyguard that keeps you safe from growth. Implementation steps. 1. Name the pattern. Notice the moment you start pulling the brake. Awareness is the first disruption. 2. Ask, what am I protecting? Usually it's not fear of failure, but fear of exposure, of being seen, judged, or disappointed again. 3. Reassure your system. Say, it's safe for me to grow now. You're not fighting your fear, you're retraining it. 4. Reward micro change. Each small win tells your brain, see, growth doesn't kill us. Once you understand this, the mountain shrinks a little. You realize sabotage isn't the enemy, it's just safety gone stale. Section 2, how we build our mountains. Wiest says, your mountain is built one emotional brick at a time. It's the accumulation of unprocessed experiences, beliefs, and fears you've been stacking for years. Think about it like this. Every time something painful happens and you don't face it, you bury it under another layer of distraction. You tell yourself, I'll deal with that later. Except later turns into never. And before you know it, you're standing at the base of a mountain made entirely of laters. This mountain grows from 3 sources. 1. Unhealed pain. Moments you avoided processing. Heartbreak, rejection, failure. 2. False stories. The lies you absorbed about who you are and what's possible. 3. Comfort zones. The routines that quietly became cages. Each of those is a rock you've carried. The goal isn't to blow up the mountain. It's to pick up each rock, look at it, learn from it, and decide whether to keep it. Implementation steps. 1. Inventory your terrain. List the areas where you feel the most resistance. That's where your heaviest rocks are hiding. 2. Track your triggers. Every strong emotional reaction points to buried material. 3. Process before you proceed. When something hurts, stop labeling it as negative. Pain is information. Study it. As Wiest puts it, you don't remove the mountain by fighting it. You remove it by understanding it. Section 3. Emotional intelligence, your climbing gear. If self-sabotage builds the mountain, emotional intelligence is the rope, harness, and oxygen that get you up it. Emotional intelligence isn't being happy all the time. It's being honest all the time, recognizing what you feel, why you feel it, and what you need to do about it. Low EI sounds like this: I'm fine. High EI sounds like I'm frustrated because I expected something different, and that's okay. The difference is self-awareness. Without EI, emotions run the show. With it, emotions become data. You stop asking, how do I make this feeling go away? And start asking, what is this feeling trying to teach me? Wiest compares emotions to weather. You can't stop the rain, but you can carry an umbrella. Ignoring it doesn't keep you dry. Implementation steps. 1. Label before you react. Saying I'm angry creates a pause long enough to prevent regret. 2. Find the message. Every emotion points to a need. Fear to safety, sadness to release, guilt to change. 3. Regulate. Don't repress. Walk, breathe, write, move. Give the energy somewhere to go. 4. Communicate from clarity. Once calm, express what you need, not as attack, but as information. The higher your emotional intelligence, the fewer avalanches you trigger on the climb. Section 4. Your patterns are your teachers. Wiest insists that repetition is revelation. If you keep reliving the same situations, you're not cursed, you're in class. Every repeated heartbreak, career plateau, or self-doubt spiral is your psyche trying to resolve unfinished business. The mind doesn't like open loops. It recreates familiar pain, hoping to find closure through mastery. That's why you date the same type of person, fight the same battles, or hit the same ceiling. You're unconsciously chasing resolution. The problem is, most people keep responding the same way and calling it bad luck. The moment you change your response, the lesson ends. The pattern dissolves. Implementation steps. 1. Spot your loops. Write down your last 3 major frustrations. Look for emotional similarities. That's your theme. 2. Acknowledge the hidden payoff. Every loop offers comfort, familiarity, validation, or attention. 3. Change the ending. Do one thing differently next time. Even a small deviation breaks the cycle. 4. Thank the pattern. It was never there to punish you. It was trying to graduate you. When you start learning from patterns instead of resenting them, you stop hiking in circles and finally begin ascending. Section 5. Reclaiming agency. You built it, so you can rebuild it. Here's the liberating twist Wiest leaves for the end of this section. If you built the mountain, that means you also hold the blueprint. The moment you stop seeing yourself as the victim of your circumstances and start seeing yourself as the architect, everything changes. Responsibility stops feeling like blame and starts feeling like power. Owning your mountain means admitting you constructed it. One belief, one avoidance, one fear at a time. That's not guilt. That's sovereignty. When you realize you created the problem, you also realize you can redesign the solution. Implementation steps. 1. Replace blame with ownership. When something goes wrong, ask, what part of this can I influence? 2. Detach from guilt. Guilt paralyzes, responsibility mobilizes. You're learning, not failing. 3. Design microfixes. Change one habit that sustains the problem. Even a 1% shift starts the rebuild. 4. Keep a proof journal. Record every time you handle something better than before. This rewires belief faster than any pep talk. When you claim ownership, the mountain stops feeling like punishment and starts feeling like a project. Section 6. The Identity Trap. You can't outgrow the story you live in. Brianna Wiest argues that most people never change because they keep trying to upgrade their habits without updating the story those habits come from. Your identity is the script, and your actions are just the actors following it. If your self-image says, "I'm someone who always messes things up," every success will feel suspicious. If your inner voice says, "I'm the responsible one who keeps everyone happy," you'll burn out before you admit you're exhausted. In other words, the story you tell about who you are quietly decides what you'll allow yourself to experience. Wiest's key point: you can't climb to a higher altitude with a map that ends halfway up the mountain. To change your life, you have to edit the map, and that means rewriting identity from the inside out. How the old identity protects you. Your current self-concept once kept you safe. Maybe the shy one, the overachiever, or the caretaker helped you survive family dynamics or social judgment. But survival stories are terrible life blueprints. They keep you alive, not fulfilled. So every time you attempt something bigger, a business, a new relationship, a creative risk, that outdated identity whispers, "That's not who we are." The tension you feel isn't failure. It's friction between expansion and memory. Implementation steps. 1. Write your current character bio. Describe yourself in third person. Don't filter. Then highlight phrases that sound limiting or defensive. 2. Upgrade one sentence. Turn "she always doubts herself" into "she's learning to trust her preparation." Small edits rewrite neural scripts. 3. Visualize evidence. Picture one daily action your new identity would take: a confident reply, an early wake up, a calm no. 4. Repeat until familiar. Identity shifts when repetition makes the new story feel more comfortable than the old one. The day you stop saying, "That's just how I am," is the day the climb actually begins. Section 7. The Myth of Control. Humans love control because it disguises anxiety as productivity. We plan, organize, micromanage, and call it being responsible. But Wiest points out that the obsession with control is really a lack of trust in ourselves, in others, and in timing. Control feels safe because it promises certainty, but certainty is a comfort drug that kills creativity. When you try to control every variable, you shut out surprise, intuition, and spontaneity, the 3 ingredients every breakthrough needs. When control turns against you, you make schedules down to the minute, then panic when anything shifts. You hold people to impossible standards because you fear being disappointed. You avoid risks because you can't predict outcomes. All of that drains energy that could have built momentum. Implementation steps. 1. Spot disguised control. Over-researching, constantly checking messages, that's fear pretending to be diligence. 2. Replace control with confidence. Say, "I don't need to know everything to start." 3. Practice uncertainty reps. Order something new, take an unplanned route, or let someone else decide the plan. Teach your nervous system that the unknown isn't lethal. 4. Audit your circle. Surround yourself with people comfortable in ambiguity. Their calm becomes contagious. True mastery isn't predicting the storm. It's learning to hike while it rains. Section 8. Pain is the compass, not the curse. This is where the book hits emotional altitude. Wiest insists that pain is the most honest feedback you'll ever receive. It shows you exactly where your life and your truth are out of alignment. Most people treat pain like an intruder, medicate it, outrun it, scroll it away. But pain is a messenger. Ignoring it only makes it shout louder. How pain works. Physical pain protects the body. Emotional pain protects the psyche. Both say something needs attention. When you refuse to listen, pain becomes chronic: resentment, cynicism, emptiness. When you face it, it becomes instruction. The trick is to stop labeling pain as punishment and start treating it as data. Implementation steps. 1. Name the pain. This isn't general sadness, it's grief for a version of me that didn't get what she wanted. 2. Translate the message. Ask, what boundary, lesson, or truth is this pain showing me? 3. Turn lesson into motion. Do one small act that honors that message. A tough conversation, a change in habit, a new standard. 4. Document transformation. Keep a pain journal that tracks every hardship and what it taught. Reading it later, reframe suffering as training. Pain doesn't mean stop climbing. It means change how you climb. Section 9, Emotional Endurance, staying on the wall when it gets steep. Climbers talk about grip fatigue, the point when muscles shake, but you can't let go. Wiest says emotional endurance works the same way. Growth hurts, not because you're weak, but because you're stretching capacity. Most people quit right before momentum compounds. They misinterpret discomfort as a sign something's wrong instead of evidence something's working. The cycle of transformation. 1. Discomfort, you feel resistance. 2. Release, you let go of an old coping pattern. 3. Reconstruction, you rebuild identity around new standards. 4. Integration, the change feels normal. If you bail during stage 1 or 2, you restart the loop. If you push through to 4, you evolve. Implementation steps. 1. Redefine success. Progress equals persistence, not perfection. 2. Build grounding rituals. Walks, deep breathing, cold showers, physical anchors that calm emotional turbulence. 3. Track recovery speed. Instead of asking, did I fall? Ask, how fast did I get back up? 4. Visualize the long game. Mountains aren't climbed in one breath. Endurance is just accumulated small recoveries. Pain tests your limits. Endurance expands them. Section 10. The role of forgiveness. Forgiveness is the emotional oxygen of transformation. Without it, you can climb hard, but you'll eventually suffocate on resentment. Wiest clarifies, forgiveness isn't approval, it's release. You forgive not to erase the past, but to reclaim the energy it keeps stealing. Why it matters? Holding grudges keeps you psychologically tied to what hurt you. Every replay of the memory re-traumatizes the body. Letting go doesn't make them right, it makes you free. Implementation steps. 1. Separate accountability from attachment. You can hold someone responsible without reliving their offense daily. 2. Write the unsent letter. Pour it all out, then delete or burn it. Symbolic closure rewires the nervous system. 3. Forgive yourself aloud. I did the best I could with what I knew. Hearing it matters more than reading it. 4. Replace anger with gratitude. Find one strength that pain forged. Boundaries, empathy, focus. Forgiveness clears the altitude sickness so you can breathe at higher emotional elevations. Section 11. Building self-trust, the foundation of freedom. Brianna Wiest says self-trust is the backbone of transformation. Without it, no strategy, planner, or mindset hack can hold. You can't build a mountain trail on quicksand, and you can't build a new life on self-doubt. Because every time you break your own word, when you say you'll start that routine and don't, or when you promise to leave the toxic situation and stay, you're teaching your brain not to believe you. That's why you can't rely on motivation. Your nervous system no longer trusts that this time means anything. Self-trust isn't about knowing you'll succeed. It's about believing you'll handle it even if you fail. That belief turns fear into flexibility. How to rebuild self-trust. 1. Make micro commitments. Promise less, deliver consistently. A daily walk builds more confidence than a grand abandoned fitness plan. 2. Keep score of integrity. Every time you follow through, note it. The brain loves evidence. Give it a file of wins. 3. Forgive missteps, not broken patterns. When you slip, learn. When you quit, restart. Discipline without compassion breeds rebellion. 4. Speak to yourself like a partner, not a drill sergeant. Nobody thrives under constant criticism, not even you. When self-trust grows, anxiety shrinks. The mountain stops feeling like punishment and starts feeling like potential. Section 12. Confidence through competence. Wiest dismantles a myth here. Confidence doesn't come first. It's not a prerequisite for action, it's a reward for taking it. Waiting to feel ready is the most elegant form of self-sabotage. The readiness comes after repetition. Think about a child learning to walk. They don't stand up, fall, and say, maybe walking's not for me. They fall until balance becomes muscle memory. Adults forget that failure is how coordination develops. So stop expecting emotional stability before starting something. Start, and stability will form as a side effect. Implementation steps. 1. Reframe failure. It's not evidence of weakness, it's the tuition fee for skill. 2. Stack small wins. Keep promises in micro layers until they outweigh fear. 3. Teach your brain to predict success. The more times you follow through, the faster confidence becomes reflex. 4. Repeat daily. Confidence fades without maintenance. Think of it as emotional cardio. Confidence isn't magic, it's math. The formula is repetition plus honesty plus recovery to equal belief. Section 13. Resilience. Bouncing forward, not back. Wiest redefines resilience. She says real strength isn't bouncing back to where you were before something hurt. It's bouncing forward into who you're becoming because of it. Resilience is the ability to turn friction into focus. It's not about being unbothered. It's about being unstoppable. Every challenge is a test of elasticity, not can you avoid breaking, but can you stretch, learn, and reshape? The anatomy of resilience. Stress response. Your system detects threat. Shock phase. You lose equilibrium. Recovery. You adjust expectations. Reconstruction. You integrate lessons and upgrade boundaries. The faster you move through those stages, the more resilient you are. Implementation steps. 1. Preload perspective. Before crises hit, remember that discomfort equals growth. The brain adapts better when primed. 2. Develop recovery rituals. Sleep, reflection, and healthy escapism replenish emotional energy. 3. Document the rebuild. When you recover, note what worked. That record becomes your emergency manual for future storms. 4. Share your scars. Teaching resilience reinforces it. Every time you help someone else rise, you climb higher too. The resilient don't fear collapse. They trust their reconstruction skills. Section 14. Fear and freedom. Wiest describes fear as the gatekeeper to freedom. Every desire you have, success, love, peace, sits on the other side of a fear your ego guards. Most people worship fear by obeying it. They mistake discomfort for danger, but discomfort is the GPS signal that you're heading somewhere new. Fear won't disappear, it just needs a new job description. Instead of protector, make it a tour guide. Implementation steps. 1. Find the function. Ask what your fear is trying to prevent. Usually it's humiliation, rejection, or loss. 2. Run what-if drills. What if it fails? Versus what if it works? Flip the question until the risk feels balanced. 3. Lean into the flinch. Do one thing daily that scares you in proportion to your dream. Small, consistent courage compounds. 4. Celebrate exposure. Every time you face fear, record it. You're literally rewiring survival instincts into confidence. Freedom isn't found in calm. It's built through courage, exercised repeatedly. Section 15. Purpose, the summit view. Wiest finishes with one of the simplest but deepest ideas. Your purpose isn't something you find, it's something you practice. Most people freeze, waiting for clarity before action. But clarity is earned through movement. You find purpose by following curiosity until it turns into conviction. Purpose isn't about destiny, it's about direction. When your daily actions match your values, meaning emerges naturally. Implementation steps. 1. Audit your energy. Pay attention to what tasks drain you and what tasks expand you. Purpose lives in the expansion zone. 2. Do it badly at first. The mountain rewards movement, not perfection. 3. Keep curiosity alive. Don't expect one lifelong calling, expect multiple seasons of purpose. 4. Anchor progress to service. Purpose feels shallow when it's self-contained. Ask, who benefits when I grow? The summit of purpose isn't achievement, it's alignment. Section 16, Integration, when change becomes who you are. Most people think transformation happens in one big cinematic breakthrough. Wiest disagrees. True change, she says, begins when the new behaviors stop feeling like effort and start feeling like identity. At first, change feels fake, like you're pretending to be someone else. But that's just your old self getting jealous. The truth is, authenticity doesn't mean staying who you were. It means being honest about who you're becoming. Integration is the bridge between I'm trying and I am. When you reach that stage, self-discipline becomes self-respect. Growth stops being exhausting and starts feeling natural. You no longer have to push yourself uphill. You've become part of the slope. Implementation steps. 1. Normalize the new. When something good happens, a calm reaction, a boundary kept, don't say, that's not like me. Say, this is me now. 2. Update your environment. Replace the cues that trigger old habits. Clean rooms, new playlists, different people, physical change anchors internal change. 3. Audit your language. Eliminate phrases like trying to or hoping to. Speak from completion. I am. 4. Keep humility. Growth doesn't make you superior, it makes you responsible. Share wisdom, not ego. When integration happens, the mountain no longer intimidates you, it starts moving with you. Section 17, the practice of alignment. Wiest describes alignment as the emotional equivalent of breathing easily. It's when your actions, thoughts, and values finally match. You know you're aligned when peace feels stronger than adrenaline. Misalignment, on the other hand, shows up as tension, overthinking, guilt, anxiety, second-guessing. It's your intuition tapping you on the shoulder saying, this isn't it. Alignment doesn't mean life gets easy. It means you stop wasting energy fighting yourself. Implementation steps. 1. Define your non-negotiables. 3 core values like integrity, health, creativity should dictate your yeses and nos. 2. Check your compass daily. Ask, is what I'm doing right now feeding or starving those values? 3. Adjust quickly. When something feels off, don't rationalize it, realign it. 4. Protect simplicity. Complexity breeds chaos. The clearer your priorities, the easier your peace. Section 18, Momentum. How to keep climbing without burning out. One of Wiest's most practical insights is that people fail not from lack of motivation, but from lack of rhythm. They sprint through self-improvement, then crash into exhaustion and self-judgment. The trick isn't to stay motivated, it's to stay in motion. Momentum isn't about constant hustle. It's about maintaining energy through cycles of push and recovery, just like professional athletes train with rest built in. Your nervous system needs both intensity and integration. Implementation steps. 1. Work with your energy, not against it. Notice when you're naturally creative or reflective, build your schedule around those rhythms. 2. Use the 2% rule. Instead of chasing perfect days, aim to improve one small behavior by 2%. Small gains stack faster than big intentions. 3. Schedule recovery like work. Walks, silence, social breaks. Rest isn't reward, it's refueling. 4. Reignite curiosity. When momentum dips, ask, what excites me about this again? Energy follows interest. Sustainable growth doesn't feel like climbing. It feels like breathing thinner air and realizing you're adapting to it. Section 19. The Art of Letting Go. Wiest says the final stage of transformation isn't achieving more, it's releasing what no longer fits. Letting go isn't loss, it's making space. Every new version of yourself requires a burial of the old one. That's why growth feels like grief. You're mourning the habits, relationships, and identities that can't survive your next level. Implementation steps. 1. Name what's expiring. Ask, what am I still carrying out of guilt or habit? 2. Detach from outcomes. You can't climb if your backpack is full of what ifs. 3. Perform closure rituals. Burn old notes. Delete contacts. Archive projects. Tangible actions signal emotional release. 4. Focus on the gain. Every ending opens bandwidth for something aligned. Remind yourself this space is sacred, not empty. Letting go isn't weakness. It's wisdom that knows lightness climbs higher. Section 20. Self-respect, the hidden superpower. Wiest frames self-respect as the invisible currency behind every boundary, habit, and decision that sticks. Without self-respect, you negotiate your worth at every turn. It's not arrogance, it's clarity. When you respect yourself, you stop begging for permission to exist comfortably. You stop chasing people who treat you like a convenience. You stop breaking your own rules for temporary comfort. Self-respect gives structure to freedom. It's how you know what's enough. Implementation steps. 1. Draw energetic lines. Decide what behaviors you will no longer tolerate from yourself and others. 2. Enforce through silence. You don't need to announce every boundary. Quiet consistency is more powerful than confrontation. 3. Stop explaining your standards. The people meant for your altitude will understand without persuasion. 4. Reward respect, not validation. When you honor your limits, give yourself the approval you once sought externally. Self-respect isn't about control, it's about coherence. Once you master it, peace stops being something you chase and becomes something you maintain. Section 21, Becoming the Mountain. Here's the final truth Brianna Wiest leaves us with. You are not here to conquer the mountain. You are here to become it. Every rock you climbed, every storm you endured, every fall that forced you to restart, all of it was sculpting you into something stronger. The goal isn't victory, it's integration. You're not the climber reaching the top, you're the terrain itself, steady, ancient, and unshakable. When you realize this, self-sabotage loses its power. Pain stops feeling like punishment. Fear becomes a signal instead of a stop sign. You begin to live from strength, not scarcity, from direction, not desperation. The mountain was never in your way. It was your way. Implementation steps. 1. Live what you've learned. Don't just think differently, respond differently. That's the real proof of transformation. 2. Stop chasing a graph. Every summit is temporary. Growth is cyclical. You climb, integrate, rest, repeat. 3. Find gratitude in the climb. Appreciate the altitude you've gained, not just the peak you haven't reached yet. 4. Help others climb. The moment you teach what you've learned, you stop fearing you'll lose it. When you become the mountain, life stops being something that happens to you. It becomes something that happens through you. Section 22. Emotional maturity. The real definition of growth. Wiest calls emotional maturity the art of staying steady while life stays unpredictable. It's not detachment, it's groundedness. You stop needing everything to go right before you feel okay. You stop arguing with reality and start adapting to it. You learn to hold joy and pain in the same breath without collapsing into either. That's the highest form of emotional power. Not control, not denial, but balance. Implementation steps. 1. Pause before labeling. Not every setback is bad. Not every delay is wasted time. Wait for context. 2. Keep long vision. Ask, will this matter in 5 years? If not, don't give it 5 minutes. 3. Respond, don't react. Let emotions inform your actions, not command them. 4. Stay teachable. Every person you meet and every challenge you face is a mirror. Keep learning from the reflection. Emotional maturity means you can walk through chaos and remain centered. You don't chase calm, you carry it. Section 23, Wholeness, the True Summit. Wiest ends on a powerful reminder. Wholeness is not perfection, it's integration. It's not becoming flawless, it's becoming fully honest. Wholeness means you've stopped rejecting parts of yourself that feel inconvenient. The ambition, the doubt, the optimism, the grief, they all belong. Once you stop splitting yourself into good and bad, the climb stops being a battle and becomes a dialogue. You don't fix yourself to earn peace. You make peace with yourself so you can grow without shame. That's what being whole actually means. You finally stop fighting the mountain because you realize the mountain was never the enemy. Implementation steps. 1. Revisit your shadows. Instead of hiding flaws, study what they're protecting. Often it's tenderness. 2. Merge opposites. Be disciplined and gentle, bold and humble, ambitious and content. Balance makes you real. 3. End self-compressing. Mountains don't compete for height. They coexist in different shapes. 4. Live from acceptance. When you accept everything you are, improvement becomes freedom, not pressure. Wholeness is when the journey stops being uphill and starts being inward. Section 24, the view from the summit. So, what happens when you reach the top? Ironically, you don't feel done. You just feel clear. You look back at all the fear, pain, and confusion that once felt impossible and realize every piece of it had purpose. You see that you never needed to be rescued. You just needed to stop abandoning yourself. That's the quiet miracle Wiest wants every reader to feel. Not fireworks, just peace. At the summit, you realize the climb was never about getting somewhere. It was about becoming someone unshakable, awake, and free. Outro. The mountain was never in your way. So, that's The Mountain Is You, a book that doesn't just tell you to overcome challenges, but shows you how to transform them. Your mountain isn't your enemy. It's your mirror. Every slip, every fear, every stuck moment was just another invitation to meet yourself at a higher level. You don't conquer the mountain by force. You do it by understanding it, by understanding you. If this summary helped you climb a little higher today, give this video a like. It helps other people find their own trail. And if you want to go deeper, check out the 15-minute and 5-minute versions linked below. Each one will sharpen your grip on the ideas we explored here. Remember, you were never lost. You were just learning the map. And the view from the top, it's the moment you realize you built the mountain, and you can build anything else from here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next climb, right here on Summary Central.